How's it going, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to round 2. Well, we're still in round 2, the last feature match of round 2. We got sort of two heavyweights facing off here, and one of the main reasons I wanted to showcase this particular match is because of the firepower within each deck. I was looking at each player's deck list before they're about to play as they were getting paired up, and I'm like, this one could be really interesting because Dino does have very powerful going first plays, as you're about to see here from Death Vader, or Majin Booty as his name is in Discord. Very well-versed Dino DNA player. But basically, this man is just blessed with opening up Fossil Dig and Miscellaneousaurus, and able to get, Archosaur and Litho, or not Litho, Ovi, and then go for Baby off of the Ovi, and of course, we're going to pop the Baby, and just sort of continue on and comboing off here. Now, like I said, though, this Dino deck is capable of putting out a very, very strong field, and if you guys are familiar with it, you know that this deck utilizes the Simorgh link because of the access it has to Reprodocus, and, the way the deck sort of can be set up. Miscellaneousaurus currently protecting all dinos on the field from activated effects this main phase, which is huge. That means Nibiru is sort of out of the question. And anytime you get a non-dino on board, it's Dolka, and Dolka just says no to Nibiru anyway. So, double evolution pill activating now, successfully going to bring back that Giant Rex as a result. But talking about the Mekk Knight players list now, maining the 3 tactical talents within the main deck here, which can be a huge blowout card. In some situations, it's Pot of Greed, Change of Heart, and Forceful Century all in one, so long as the opponent has activated a monster effect, I believe, during your main phase, with plenty of hand traps to boot, as is the standard for a lot of pure Mekk Knight decks. So, we could see, a pretty big clash here, with the right hand traps, or even with just right going second cards, board breaking cards like Tactical Talents or Dark Lure No More, which I believe is also in the main deck for our pure Mekk Knight player. I could be wrong, but I believe it is also in there. So now is where we see the Simorgh link. There's a Nibiru. There is a Dolka being, of course, responding to negate, and an Infinite Impermanence. So shutting off the Dolka, clearing everything that isn't a Dino, of course, because Miscellaneousaurus is still in effect. Which is, that's one way to deal with the board. Imperm and Nibiru, which is a pretty niche combo to have, but he had it this time around, and he just needs to capitalize on it. But UCT is still no pushover, just sitting there by himself, able to just pop that token off freely to Book of Eclipse, which could be pretty powerful. We're going to start things off with what looks to be World Legacy's Key, and is going to normal summon it right in that same column that set card is. Trying to turn off any infinite impermanences that may be there, but Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring says no thank you to that Foolish Burial effect of Girsu to try to get either World Legacy World Chalice or World Legacy World Armor into the grave, which would have opened up a lib play, which is very, very nice, but gonna have to audible and go for what looks to be Galatea now. And Galatea is nice because he can just sort of offer easy access to Dingirsu, whereas otherwise you would need something like Purple and Indigo to be able to make happen, to go to hard make Dingirsu as a rank 8 monster. So now it looks like we're going to see, yep, Dingirsu hits the field after we summon Purple Nightfall, and it looks like he's going to go ahead and just freely be able to send off one card on the opponent's field, and Cosmic Cyclone being activated in fear of being sent away. Obviously it does not target, so Cosmic Cyclone being played, that will also turn off another potential column, at least another potential zone where a column could be created in favor of the Mekk Knight player, and UCT will be sent off as a result, realizing that if he does UCT, he could probably just, not that he could probably, but he will just use purple and just dodge it completely and go grab something like Blue Sky and continue on from there. So battle phase proceeding here now, killing that Nibiru token, which wasn't too powerful to begin with, and attacking directly with that 2600 Dingirsu. So, you're feeling pretty good about going into that board. Very, very impressive, but I believe our Dino player still has quite a bit of gas in the tank, despite having, gone through a full combo there. And there is a Lightning Storm, which is pretty good, but Dingirsu is just a little bit better, being able to protect the entire field all monsters because of its detach effect, but you know, still got to force it out anyways. Foolish Burial is huge here also for Miscellaneousaurus. You know, honestly, I'm not even sure if he had a Miscellaneousaurus in his grave to begin with going forward. I think he might have had one way to get it there during the you know, the later parts of his last turn, but that Foolish Burial is just absolutely crushing at this point. Not only is he able to get the Oviraptor from the deck directly, but he's also able to get access to that Giant Rex, which is nice. Just an extra body to work with to be able to go into any Ixies monsters that he may want to go for. And he's going to add a copy of UCT. And I believe there is still some Dinos possibly left in the main deck here. Or not in the main deck, but the graveyard, rather. So we're going to see Dolka hit the field. So now it's a little too late for Purple Nightfall to activate. I mean, maybe you see that rank 4 play coming and you use that Purple Nightfall a little bit earlier to potentially get out of harm's way, because now, as you imagine, as you know, battle phase enters here, we're gonna see the purple activate and we're gonna see the Dolka negate it, as you might have expected, and we're gonna see, you know, the UCT run over the Dingirsu as it does, and then the Dolka swinging in for 2300 also. So now you've got a Book of Eclipse and a monster negate, a Walking Solemn Strike, you know, facing you down, and that is going to be it for game 1, unfortunately. But we're going to take a look at the deck breakdown real quick. As you can see, a pretty diverse playing field. If you guys have been keeping up with the tournament so far on the channel, you guys have seen this chart a few times. I'll be showing you guys a different chart once we get past round 3 of the top 16 decks after round 3. But as you can see, Pure Mekk Knight and Dino, some of the more represented decks in this tournament. So I wanted to try to feature those decks a little bit more, just to sort of show the varying, you know, play styles you might see amongst those decks and different card choices and things like that. One Infernoble deck here. You know, we were playing post Rise of the Duelist, at least allowing some cards that have been confirmed for Rise of the Duelist, so no surprise to see that one Infernoble. I was hoping to see more, but only one Sky Striker, Cyber Dragon, Altergeist being some lone decks. So yeah, we're gonna head into game 2, and of course a quick shout out to Imperium Duelist, a link to their website down below where you guys can get some amazing gear, and you can get it all for 10% off using that discount code WinnerKills10 off. And of course, if you guys are buying anything at TCG Player, do not forget to use my affiliate link to that down in the description below. Anytime you guys buy cards using that link, I'll get a small portion of the revenue from your purchase, and it goes right back into the channel and does help out greatly. So Dino's going first, being made to go first here in game 2, which is a little surprising, although Pure Mekk Knight does have a really, I wouldn't say really good, but a much better going first game now that we have Girsu at our disposal. You know, there's a bit of a coin toss you always have to take in this situation. Now, this coin toss, I feel like it's a little bit weighted, at least in my personal opinion, because it's either go first and try to floodgate him with some traps or whatever it may be, or, you know, let him go first and hope you have the same hand trap combination to stop that nasty field of Dolka, UCT, and Wind Barrier statue, and hope you have the hand traps, like I said, to push through it. Now, I mean, Pure Mekk Knight is no slouch when it comes to going second. It can play a lot of really strong going second board breaking cards. It can just take advantage out of you simply existing on your field. You know, by just having columns there for you to work with. Just having cards, simply you putting cards on the field is giving Mekk Knights more fuel. So that's just always going to be an inherent advantage, but sometimes, you know, a board like this may be a little too much. So the combo here sort of shaping up as it normally does, almost done at this point. Board completely, again, protected, I believe. At least all Dinos protected by that of Miscellaneousaurus. We have UCT, we have Dolka, and that we are now using that effect of Reprodicus or Reprodocus, or whatever you want to call it, to change that baby to wind, and that is going to allow it to go into that Simorgh Bird of Sovereignty, where he will attempt to bring out that Wind Barrier statue, and then you can't special summon. If you try to go into the battle phase, you know you're going to be met with a lot of resistance. But it looks like we have Phantasme. Dolka's going to negate. There's Infinite Impermanence. And I believe that is going to go on to, yeah, the Dolka. That's going to let that Phantasme go through. Pick up a few extra cards, which is pretty clutch here, to say the least. I was going to say maybe you're using the Phantasme to bait out the Dolka. But then again, impermanence it's not a monster, so he can't even negate it anyways to begin with. So that's actually pretty huge there. Regardless, Fossil Dig being activated here as a follow-up. There is Nibiru to clear everything else. Both games in a row, finding the hand traps he needed to not necessarily completely deal with the field, but weaken it enough to the point where it may be manageable. And right now is the time when you've got to do everything in your power to blow through this field, because, you know, he did resolve that Fossil Dig. He does have a very strong follow-up play for next turn. So he's going to start with that World Legacy's Memory to go for, looks like to be Purple Nightfall. Purple Nightfall, of course, can go get Girsu, but Girsu's not going to do too much. You kind of wish he had no monsters left on the field. You kind of wish that Nibiru token might not even be there, just so you could successfully get, you know, like those tokens out. But I guess, you know, you're going second. You don't need them so much. But I guess, you know, if he has a card in his hand to set right now, that'd be really ideal, because he could go grab blue, and then blue could, of course, grab Girsu. Girsu could send a card off to the graveyard, but he's not even going to use that Purple Nightfall. Just going to link straight into Morningstar, which is kind of nice, though, because he does have Indigo in hand most of the time, an optimal discard target for Morningstar outside of World Legacy World Chalice or World Legacy World Armor. And I believe adding that copy of Secret and setting 1, setting 2, setting 3, and passing. Now, this board may look like a board that might just lose outright, but it is a pretty deceptively strong board because of that zone placement. Because of that column placement you have to worry about always with Mekk Knight, especially with Morningstar. So we're seeing Extrav here to start things off, and then to make it even better, you've got a Miscellaneous Source to start protecting things. And not only do you have a Miscellaneous Source to grant protection, but you've got a fatty graveyard of dinos to kick things off with. So I believe he's going to end up banishing 4 here, and that could possibly tutor out, yep, an Oviraptor, which is going to just start to generate even more advantage. And on top of that, you've already got that Giant Rex coming back. So this is where the quicksand-like effect that pure Mekk Knight has is going to start to kick in. So he knows that he's searched out these cards. He's got backwards, he's got to play around it, but the column play is hard to deal with. You can't just move your monsters to other columns like Mekk Knights can. So that is very difficult in this stage, especially with so many other columns or other zones in his side of the field being already occupied. It's hard to really make space, but making space here nonetheless with that Dolka, and we're going to see another double evolution pill, which is pretty scary here, because now you're not just worrying about one UCT, you're worrying about 2 of them. That makes things even worse. The stakes are raised, especially Dolka's on field, and, you know, our Dino player putting that UCT in the correct column. So now if it attacks over, if it attacks into this Morningstar and it is successful, it will take the damage and will be destroyed by battle. So there's Indigo, as you might have expected. Dolka following up, and there is another copy of Secrets. This is absolutely huge, and you're going to bring back purple here, and that is going to negate that Dolka, and it's really nice because Dolka can't actually get over that purple, and neither UCT can attack into all the other monsters it wants to right now. It's not going to be able to do anything. So neither UCT can do anything about this field right now. The only thing that is unfortunate, though, is the fact that Morningstar is in the same column now as Nibiru. And Nibiru could run that over, and then the other UCTs could sort of start taking over everything else. And just start completely clearing the field. So he'll actually use purple to dodge away that Indigo to search Girsu. Now this is where I believe a mistake might have happened here. This is like brutal, like crunch time right here. This is like literal Yu-Gi-Oh in chess form. Right here, he has a way to survive this turn 100%, but I believe the mistake comes to where he summoned out this Indigo off of this World Legacy memory, because I believe if he would have put it in the same column as that UCT was, he could have moved the Morningstar into that center column where it would have been completely safe, and UCT would have only been able to run over the Indigo, which is completely fine so long as it means you're getting to survive the turn. And Dolka is also completely turned off right now. You see our pure Mekk Knight player taking a moment, pausing, thinking, is there anything he can do at this point? Yeah, he can move that Morningstar over into that other column, but, you know, that's a column where UCT resides, so he's just going to let it go, and unfortunately, this is going to result in an OTK. One UCT already attacking all monsters at this point, but the other still has not done so yet. So super unfortunate. I think it literally just came down to where he summoned that Indigo off of that memory, because he just needed that Indigo to move Morningstar into that center column. The Morningstar and the purple would have been safe. He would have lost the other Indigo, which is completely fine. He would have had Girsu, and who knows how it would have played out from there. I think we would have definitely seen a game 3. So very unfortunate to see our pure Mekk Knight player fall there. But again, it was a pretty chess-like moment where you had to have like 9,000 IQ to see that. And again, in the heat of the moment, you might not always see those plays. But either way, Dino taking the match and a commanding 2-0 victory, although pure Mekk Knight not going down without a fight whatsoever, preventing full combo both games and almost completely coming back both times. So yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did. And those are Winner Kill. Signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one. And last but not least, a huge shout out to my Divine Level channel members here on YouTube, Academic Thick, Travis Harris, and Zors. Again, thank you guys so much for continuing to generously support the channel. Thank you guys again so much.